Selenium automation, and this is the third, you can say, last session for this course. So let me brief about the previous two sessions so that we can just relate all the three sessions for today's session. So in first session, we have discussed about the prerequisites for the courses. So these are some terminologies, these are some key concepts that we have studied in the first session. I will not explain in detail all these things again, just we will do a brief intro. So we have studied about web applications, dynamic web applications, framework, what is framework, how it is helping in developing things. We have discussed about client server modeling, how web application communicate with the client and how client sends requests to the web server, etc. Then we have discussed about this cloud thing, what is cloud. We have discussed about AWS, we have discussed about Google Cloud, we have discussed about Microsoft Azure, and that we have discussed in session 1, that APIs are the bridge between your application and the server. And last but not the least, we have discussed about databases. So databases are used to store and afterward we have discussed about software testing, as this course is related to the automation testing. So as we have discussed that it is oriented as the way, so it is suitable for both freshers, beginners and professionals. So in the second session we have discussed about software testing, what is the meaning, definition and scope, and different approaches of the testing, manual and automation. Then we have done the discussion about manual testing, what is the difference between manual and automation, and then we have discussed about the approaches of the manual testing, that is black box, white box, gray box. Okay, and we have discussed the detailing difference between all the three, black, white and gray. And afterward we have discussed the different types of testing methods, testing terminologies. Basically all these are testing types, these are a kind of testing approaches in itself. So when you do the software testing of any software in a proper manner, like software testing life cycle, there is a you can say a way to do a test a software, that is software development life cycle for development and software testing life cycle for the testing. So all these techniques we adopt during the software testing life cycle and do each and every test of the application test. Then we have discussed about what is automation approach. We have discussed about automation, why automation is necessary and why automation is gaining so much popularity in the industry nowadays. Because with the help of automation, we can save cost and time and efforts. And these three are the key points for a company to make a higher profit. That's why companies are adopting automation approach of testing. Even companies are doing in each and every module, they are adopting automations, even in HR process, in testing process, in manufacturing, in production. So automation is damn necessary nowadays. And finally, we have started the Selenium. As we have discussed before in the second session, Selenium is a free and open source automated testing framework used for validating web applications. So with the help of Selenium as a framework, we have written our first program 2 in the second session and understand the various aspects of the Selenium, that how to configure the environment, to write scripts like installation of Java. We have studied how we install Java, how we are using Eclipse as our IDE for writing codes. And we have also seen how to install Selenium jars and import Selenium jars in the Eclipse. So these configuration we have done in the last session. And as I said in the second session that we will going to we will going to learn Selenium WebDriver and Selenium Grid in this course. Nowadays, industry are working on Selenium WebDriver, and Selenium Grid is a little bit advanced version of WebDriver that we will discuss later on when we will reach on that stage. So for now, in start, we have started the WebDriver, and we have discussed the WebDriver, how to write code, what are the dependencies we need to import while writing our Selenium project Selenium code. So let me switch to the IDE so that we can discuss our first program. Then we have started locators in the previous session. In the day before yesterday's session, we have started locators, and we have discussed about the locator, that locating element by ID and then locating element by name. So we will discuss those two as well. So let me switch to the IDE. Okay. Yeah, so so this is the Eclipse IDE. We have discussed its how to install and how it works. So I'm not going into that for now. This is our Selenium first program that we have written. We have discussed about why we have imported these dependencies, that is Selenium WebDriver. What is the role of this Chrome driver? What is the role of Firefox driver? And we have already discussed this thing that we can run test cases with Chrome as well as Firefox. It is our choice because Selenium is providing us functionality to run our test case with both of the browsers. So Selenium supports both Chrome and Firefox, and we are using both driver in this program to show that how we can use Firefox and how we can use Google Chrome to run our test cases. So if I, yeah, so these two lines in the code decides which browser will invoke, which browser will shoot up to execute your test cases. We have discussed these system.set property. What is the role of this, you can say, line, and this is a key value pair that we have passed, that webdriver.chrome.driver and its path. So this is the path of the Chrome driver. I have saved it in C drive Geeko Chrome driver.exe. There is a site you can download from Chrome driver and Firefox driver. So you need to first download the driver, then only you can your script will work, your browser will invoke, else not. So in this line we have created an object of Chrome driver. So driver is the object of this WebDriver class, and we are using Java. That you all can see that we are using Java for our scripting language, as a scripting language to write code in Selenium. So so to write code in Java, it is mandatory that at least you should know the basics of Java. So we are not discussing the basics of Java in this session, or in the previous session we haven't discussed it, but it is prerequisite too that you all must know the basics of Java, that what are the data types in Java, how variable declaration works in Java, what are the loop statement, what are the control statement, like your if else, for loop, array list. So not much, but basics you must know to write the code, because the structure of coding is same. This is the, for example, the web driver, driver new cron driver. This is the object declaration. So object declaration is a part of Java. So if you know the Java, if you know the concepts of class and object, so you should know that what is the technical meaning of this line. In short, I want to say this. Okay. So this driver can leverage or use the all available function of the Selenium so that we can execute our code. So basically in this first program, it is just a hello world type of program. In this, what we are doing, we are opening this https google.com. Basically, we are opening Google page and we are comparing the title. We are comparing the title of that page. Let's say if I open...
So sorry to interrupt. Sir,
Yes.
what is the meaning of gecko? I mean,
Gecko means this
basically,
one.
what is the meaning of gecko?
Gecko is the Firefox driver. Gecko is the Firefox driver which interacts with your Firefox binary that is installed in your system to invoke it. So Gecko is the driver to communicate with Firefox, and Chrome driver is the your driver to communicate with the Google Chrome browser.
Okay, so gecko is specifically for Mozilla Firefox.
For Firefox,
Okay.
and Chrome driver is for Google. Your Google Chrome basically.
So basically, gecko is a driver for Firefox.
Firefox, yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so I was showing one thing. Let's say this. I have opened the google.com page. In this first program that we have just seen, we are comparing the title of the page. So this on the tab, if you hover mouse pointer over it, you will get the title. So this is the page title. This is the page title, and yeah, this is the page title. And in this program, I am comparing the page title. I am passing the first expected title. So let me make it Google. This is the expected title that I'm expecting. An actual title, basically I don't know what is the actual title. This actual title I will get with the help of driver.getTitle function. So to get the title of the page, first I need to open the page. So with this piece of line, driver.get base URL. So get function is used to open the URL. You can open any URL, either Facebook, Google. So in short, this get function will open the URL, your expected URL that you want to open. And after this, this actual title. Again, I want to like string is equal to actual string is equal to null. So again, this is actual title is a type of string variable. It is again the syntax of Java that you are declaring a string variable with the name actual title whose value is null. Actual title has nothing, but initially its value is null, and you are declare a string type variable here. And in actual title, I'm expecting a driver.getTitle. So this function, like get function, you open your URL, and getTitle function will get the title of that opened page in this step. Okay, so in actual title, you will get the title of the page, Google search page. And after that, I am comparing the both titles, that the actual title is equal to my expected title or not. So this is my expected title. I'm equating both strings. Then again, this is the if and else. If else is the conditional statement in Java. Again, I'm saying that to write the scripts, you at least must know the basics of Java. So we are not getting into it. But this is the if else syntax, and this is the control statement in Java. As per the syntax of if, then in this open bracket, we get the condition. So this is our condition. Actual title dot contents equals to expected title. In this line, I am comparing both strings, that expected title is equal to actual title or not. If both titles are equal, then this line will execute. The body of if will execute. So in the if body, I have mentioned that system.out.println. So this is the function stream, print the stream in Java. So again, this is a Java thing. So test is passed, else test is failed. And this is the last line, driver.close. It will close your existing session. Existing session means when you just run this program, one of the different browser window will open, and after executing this piece of lines, your browser will close. So if I comment this line, the browser will not close after executing all these lines. If I uncomment it, then browser will close. So this is our first Selenium program that we have discussed in last session. So this we have discussed again just to recall the concepts, that what is the use of WebDriver, what is the use of Chrome driver, what is Firefox, and what is the role of this system.setProperties thing. We have to pass the key value pair in it. Then we have make the object of the driver class so that we can use all available functions of the WebDriver class. That is, this is get function, get title, all these stuffs. So let me again run this. When I run this program, we can see. So this is a Chrome driver was started. So it has invoked this different session of a Chrome driver. This is original one. It has invoked a new one. Okay. Basically, test case has been executed so fast, and it is closed because I have mentioned this line driver.close. And in the console, we have seen that test case is passed. Let me comment it and run it again. So Chrome driver was started successfully. Again, one window has opened. Google.com is open. We have called the google.com URL in the code. And this is the title. So this time both windows are still open because I have uncommented this line. If I uncomment it, it will close the browser window. And the board title, the title I have passed is Google, and the title it has received from this line is also Google. If I want, if we can also print this actual title. Now we can see we have passed Google and we have also printed this actual title. So let me run it again. Okay, so we can see the actual title of the page is Google, and we have also mentioned this here, the Google. So both are string in the form of string, they are equal. And Java is a case sensitive language. If I make it small g, then condition will false, then test will fail. But in this case, both are equal. So both strings are equal and test case is passed. So this is the glimpse of a Selenium first program, how it works. And after this, we have started locators. So as we have discussed, locators you can say are the key element or the key performer of your Selenium program. With the help of locators, you can locate web elements on the web page. Like you want to locate some text field, if you want to locate some link text. So we will discuss all these locators one by one. In the previous session, we have done the script to log into the Facebook. So this was the program, and we have committed all sample program on the Git. So in the description or in the group, we will share the public link of the GitHub so that you can get all the demo, all these written programs over there and practice with your own in your system. Okay, let me brief it. In this case, we are invoking it via Firefox. In the first program, we have invoked it with Google Chrome driver. So if in this, I have mentioned this Gecko. So with the help of Gecko, it will invoke this Firefox instead of Google Chrome. And in this, we have passed this base URL, means that this www.facebook.com I want to open. And after opening this facebook.com, with the help of this driver.findElement via email. So this ID, the ID thing is the locator here, is the locator. Let me show this facebook.com. So this is the Facebook page, simple login first page of the Facebook. Okay. And we have discussed that how to locate elements. So to locate element, we need to inspect the page. So page inspect कैसे करते हैं? Just right click on the page. Again, I'm repeating, just right click the mouse. जो आपका mouse है, just right click on your mouse and go to this last option, inspect. Click on inspect. So this pop-up will open on your browser. So this will help you to inspect the element. The meaning of inspect, basically, you want to locate your desired element and you can locate it via this inspector thing. So after open this pop-up, just click on this option. It is giving pop-up to select an element in this page to inspect it. So just click on this arrow, click, and after click, you can say when you hover on any part of the page, like this text, image, this input text button, this create new account button, even on the background, on this complete container of your page. So it is highlighting that part. So it is highlighting that element, that part. So in this case, in present scenario, we want to inspect this input field, because here we want to pass our email ID to log in into the Facebook. So just go to there and then click, means your left click, your main click on the mouse. So when you, at the moment, just you click here, it will highlight that this piece of input tag in the code on this page. It will highlight this input tag, and in this input tag we can see we have some locators. We have type, we have class, we have name, we have ID. Yeah, so this is so as I said, there are few locator. ID is one of the locator. Your name, this name tag is one of the locator. Your class is one of the locator, and your CSS selectors, we will also discuss. CSS selector is also locator, and at last your XPath is also your locator. So first we will discuss this ID. So in this input tag, this ID locator has a value of email. So in our program, we have locate the input field of the email on the Facebook page by this ID locator. Okay, and the value of this ID locator we have just seen is email. So I have passed driver.findElement by ID, and ID value is email, that we have get from this original Facebook login page email. Dot send keys. So send keys is the function to send value, to send some set of value to this field. Okay, let me write this line again. Driver dot. Again, so driver can leverage all available Selenium functions. So basically in this scenario, I want to find an element. So I will use this find element by find element by dot. When you just press the dot, it will give all available set of function that you can apply at this point. Again, this is the feature of this Eclipse IDE. So I want to find element by ID, then press ID, and you have to pass the value of ID. की ID की value क्या है on that page? So on that page ID की value थी email. So email. Okay. So this is a complete line for the locating that email input tag. So okay, we will not pass this send key here. So what it will does, it will open facebook.com, it will locate this email tag, that's it. वहाँ पे or at that point it will stop, वो वहाँ जाके रुक जाएगा. If I want to pass the values too, so to pass the values, then I need to then press dot. Okay, then it will give me some suggestions that you can just click it, clear it, a set of available functions. So I want to pass some value. So to pass some value, I need to use this send keys function, SEND. So I will just press send. It will give me this suggestion, send keys, and I will pass these keys in the form of string. So the thing that we pass in double quote in Java is a string. So we will pass string. So for example, for this demo purpose, this is the phone number. Okay, so it will pass 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 on that email input tag. Okay, so this is the function of this line. And in case of again password, let me go back to this password field. Okay, again just press on this arrow button, go to this password field, and then press this left click, your original click on the mouse. Then it will highlight this input tag code. And in this, again, we have ID locator, fine. And in this case, the value of this ID locator is pass, PASS. Let me tell you one more thing. So this is the page of login page of the Facebook. The coding of this page is done by the Facebook, obviously. So during the coding, they have passed these things, ID, class, name. So we are leveraging these can say tags and attributes to locate elements. So if we have ID, then it is very easy to locate the element. Let's say if ID is not there, then class, the second option is class, we can locate by class. If class is also not there, we can locate by this name. If name is also not there, we can locate via some CSS selector. If also that some href and a tag is also not present. So we can also, we are not able to locate the field or element by CSS selector. So the last option we have XPath. So XPath we will study just after a few minutes. So we can locate by XPath in that case. But in this case, we have ID in front of us. It is very easy to locate it. So just go back to your code, driver.find element by ID, then pass the value of this ID tag. Then again send keys, because it's an input field, I want to pass the password. Okay, then I've sent this dummy password, that is password test. Okay, so up to this point, we have filled the ID and we have filled the password. Okay, and to log in into the page, obviously we also need to press this login button. So we also need to locate it. Again, do the same practice, press this inspect arrow button, you can see, hover over this login button and left click on the mouse. The button code will be highlighted here. Again, check for ID first. ID is there, yes, ID is there. So ID is there, U_0_D_SB. Okay, let me refresh this page. And again, locating this login button. Okay, so we are getting the dynamic ID in this case. It is a kind of functionality that is implemented by Facebook. If it is happening with you too, just clear your cache, your browser cache, your cookies, and then again open the facebook.com page. Let me do it in incognito. Okay. Right click, inspect. Press this arrow click it. Okay. So now it is getting u_0_d_n. Again, refresh it to confirm it whether it is changing or not. Okay. So every time we are getting this dynamic value. So if I use this and I open the facebook.com, so it will change. So then in this case, Selenium will give error that unable to locate the element because the ID value I am passing it will change. So it is not preferable to use ID in this scenario. In this scenario, you can use some static thing that is not changing. Let me refresh it again. Okay, so we can see that this a name property is not changing. It is fixed every time. Name is equal to login. Name is equal to login. Okay, so in this case, we can use this name is equal to login locator to locate our button. But first, we will use the ID thing to check the exception. Okay, let me use this. And we will run the driver.close so that we can see. Okay, run it. In this case, it will open Firefox because we are using Firefox Gecko driver. So Firefox is open. It is opening facebook.com. Then it will locate this input tag. Okay, fine. Then go back to C. We are getting this exception. We are getting this exception. Or .open QA Selenium, no such element exception. As we have discussed a minute back, that on every refresh, we are getting a different ID value. Or obviously when Firefox is in walk, it has some different value. We can see in the we have code u_0_d_q4. Okay, inspect it. Okay, in this session we have got value. Where is ID? Yeah, so in this case ID is u_0_d_ms, so it is different. So no issues, we can use this name property in this case because it is fixed on every refresh. Let me change this property. So dot by name. So we have this locator name and the value of this locator is login. And see, it's login. Name is equal to login. So with this property, we can locate in this case dot. Okay, dot. So dot click is the function which helps you to click, like we click on the button or mouse or anything is clickable. So now again run this program to see what happens, whether in this time we will be able to click it or not. Okay, Firefox, facebook.com open. This time we can see it has clicked this login button and the processing is ongoing. It is processing this email and password and it will give error that both are wrong because it's only a dummy username and password we have used. This button is grayed out. It's clicked already. Okay, let it complete. Sorry, something went wrong. No issues. Basically, we want to see that if we are getting this kind of issue, that we are getting some dynamic thing over the web page, so we can go and check the static thing. the static property that we are getting, so that we can use that static property to click or get or do perform any function on that particular web element. So these type of scenario will come in real life projects, so it is very common. So in that case we will locate uh, static property of that web element. Okay. Okay, fine. Now we will discuss next locator. So we have discussed ID, we have discussed name. I think we are comfortable with this. If there is any
Sir,
doubt, yeah.
yeah, sir, in this line, system dot set property line,
Mhm.
we have mentioned the path of Firefox driver, right?
Yes, path of Firefox. Yeah,
So
path of
why
Firefox driver.
we use this double backslash instead of single?
This double slash.
Yeah.
Uh, in Windows, you need to pass this double slash to show or denote the path of the of that particular directory. So this is due to window. If you use Linux, you need to just pass the single slash. It is just to denote the path, to directory path. If I do it single quote, it will not work in Windows. So that's why. So I have placed it in C, Geeko folder, Geeko driver in my system directory C. Okay. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Ritesh. Okay, so now we will going to discuss. We have discussed ID, fine. We have discussed name, fine. Now we will discuss link text. Link text. So in on any website, let me, if I open Google, okay, or if I open like Amazon.in. First, we will understand what is link text. Then we will study how to locate element via link text. So if we see on the Google page, we have this Gmail, we have this images. When you just hover your mouse over it, it changes into this hand type symbol and some underline below this word. So means it is a link. When you just click on it, it will route you to some another page or some another tab. Like if I click on images, it has routed to Google Images from Google search engine. If I go back, it is again go back to this Google search page. So these are link text, means the text behind which some link is defined, some href tag is defined. So it will route you to that particular page on click. So we can also locate element via link text. If I want to click on this image's link via Selenium. So how we will do this? We will do this with the help of link text locator and locate this image text and click over it. So this is very common practice in real life scenario. When you do scripting over live projects, it is very common when you do some web testing or like for example Amazon.in. So this is mobile is also link text, fashion, new release, electronics. You want to go on electronics page and do some check. So with the help of this link text locator, you can achieve this easily. Okay. So okay. So in this script, in this test case, we will click on link text images text on that Google web page. Okay. So these two lines are common. These three lines are common with every program that we have set system properties that we are going to use Geeko in this case too. And we have made the object of this web driver class, that is driver, and I have done driver.class. I want to open this Google page, google.in or google.com, and after this you have seen these some lines. Okay, so the meaning of this line is thread.sleep. In programming, there is a concept of thread. You can say this this program is executing on this some thread. Thread is not a physical entity; it's a soft thing, you can say. So if I want to hold the execution, if I want to stop or hold the execution for some time, so we can achieve this via this thread dot sleep functionality of Java. It's a Java functionality. It's not a Selenium thing. It's a Java thing. However, it's not a perfect way to stop or hold the execution. But Selenium, in respect of this, you can say thread.sleep thing, Selenium provides us wait function, explicit wait and implicit wait. That we will discuss little later in this course. But for now, if I want to hold the execution for some time, I will use this thread.sleep. Why I have used this thread.sleep? Because if your internet connection is slow, for example, your internet connection is slow and a web page is taking some time to load and execution is happening sequentially. So let's say https google.com, the driver has tried to open this page, and due to slow internet connection it is loading, and at that moment this line is executed. So in that case we will get the same error that we have just seen in our previous test case of Facebook login, that not able to locate this element or not able to find this element. So what I have done, I have give explicitly, I have basically खुद से I have defined this delay in the program कि when you just shoot this command driver.getOpen, then I have said to compiler just wait for 3 seconds. This is 3000 milliseconds, so that is 3 seconds. Just wait for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Then execute this command. Then execute this line or this command. So this is kind of to hold the execution explicitly to define this by defining this line. So the meaning of this line is this: to hold the execution on the main thread. Okay, and obviously I need to pass this line in this try catch block. Because this can give exception to the program. And again, try catch is an exception handling thing in Java. Again, we have not discussed this in this course, but again, it's a part of Java. If there is any doubt, we can discuss this too later. Okay, so in next line, what we are doing, we are finding again the element via this link text locator functionality. Let me show. So up to this point, it is common driver.find element by dot by link text. So we have this dedicated function link text, and I will pass the link text text in this as an argument. So this is the argument in this link text function. Again, function and argument is a part of it's a generic part of programming thing that we declare a function with argument. So it is that kind of concept. And then I want to click on this link, then I need to pass this dot click. And then again driver.quit. Let me comment it so that we can see the execution properly. Okay, let me run this program. It will open Firefox because we are using Gecko driver. It will open google.in. At this point, execution will hold for 3 seconds because of that thread.sleep line. And after 3 seconds, it click on that images hyperlink link text, and we can see that Google Images page is open instead of Google search. So in this way, we can locate element via link text functionality and click on it and go to that particular page as and when required, as per our use case, as per our project that we are working on. So this is the locator by link text. Is there any doubt up to this point, anyone? Okay, fine. So we can proceed. So we have discussed ID, we have discussed name, we have discussed link text. Okay, and we have also discussed the name thing, because in that Facebook.com, the ID is changing on every refresh. ID is getting a dynamic value from backend. So we have used to the name property of the input tag to click on the login button. So this is the same kind of use case I have written here. In this use case, I am opening this Amazon.in. Okay, and after opening Amazon.in, I'm clicking on the search field on the top of the what I'm doing. Let me show this. I'm opening this Amazon.in. Okay, and after opening this Amazon site, I'm clicking on this search field like this. You can see it is highlighted with this orange border. I have clicked on this search field and pass some value like balloon, for example. So this is the test case I have written this. In this case, I am locating this search field via name property. Let me show this. Again, we will inspect this search field. Click on this arrow. Click it here. Oh, okay, so this is the input field with type text, ID with this one, value, name. Okay, and class is this. Fine. In this case, we want to use this name property. This name property. The name property is fields keyword. So we will use this fields keyword property in our program and find this field and pass some value in it. Okay, so let's see this. So we have this driver dot find element by name, and in name we have passed this field keywords that we have just seen when we inspect the search field on Amazon.in site. Then send keys. I have sent this word balloon. Suppose I want to search balloon result over Amazon. So I have done this via this line. Let me close this so that we can see the test case. Let me run this test case. So it will open Firefox. Then it will open Amazon.in. Then it will wait for 3 seconds because I have defined thread.sleep, and afterward it has locate this input field. It's highlighted with orange border. Then it has passed this keyword balloon that we have passed in our code. Okay, so in this way we can locate elements via name tag, and with the help of send keys we can pass some keyword to perform any search operation or to do any login session or anything as per our use case. So in this case, we can locate element via a name property. Okay. So we have discussed ID, name, class. Okay, last but not the least, we will also discuss XPath. So as I said, XPath is used only when there is no ID, no class, no name tag, nothing. Basically, you are just like an empty. So in that case, XPath will help you. So it is not suggested to use XPath because it is a little bit complicated. As we can see, there is some huge HTML kind of thing, divs, all these things are coming in XPath. But if in case there is no option, in that case we will use XPath. Else we will never use XPath. We will use ID, name, CSS locator, link text, other properties to locate the element. Okay, fine. So in this case, what we are doing, again, we are opening google.com. Okay, so these 3 lines are common. We all know the meaning of these 3 lines. And after that, we are locating the search field of the google.com with the help of XPath. Okay, let me show you how we are doing this first. So we will open google.com. Okay, I want to locate this search field, this search field where I want to pass some value to search. So how we will locate this? Same step, click on this inspector button, go to this search field, left click over it. It will highlight the piece of code. It will highlight the piece of input tag in this Google page code. Okay, so however we have name here. Okay, we will not use it. And we have class here. Again, we will not use it because we want to see how we will use XPath. So just go to this input tag corner, right click here, right click, go to copy, then copy XPath. Okay, I'm again repeating it. Just go to this input tag. You can see on the page, when I just click here in the input, it is highlighting this input.glf. It is basically the class. It is highlighting this search field. Right click here, go to copy, then go to copy XPath, then click copy XPath. When you just click on copy XPath, you can see I'm pasting it here. You will get this /HTML body div1 div3. Technically, it is denoting the hierarchy of the code, that first HTML, then HTML body, then div1 div3 forms. If you little bit knows or having knowledge about this HTML and HTML5 and front-end coding, so you will understand how we are getting this thing. So if you don't know the coding, no need to worry. Just click on copy XPath, you will get this thing. Okay, so call this function by XPath. Okay, then we need to pass this XPath expression. So we have already copied it. XPath. Okay, just path XPath, and you need to pass this in double quote. Remember it. You need to pass it in double quotes. Okay, pass XPath, then dot again send keys. I want to search some word, like I want to search the selenium. I have passed this send key selenium thing. Okay, run it, we will see. Will it work according to our explanation or not? So it will open the Firefox. Okay, Firefox is open now, and it will open google.com. So it is executing driver.get. Okay, so we can see it has located this search field via XPath and passed this word selenium, and this is the suggestions we are getting. This is the Google functionality. It has passed selenium and stopped the execution because we have written this much of code. Okay, so in this way we can locate element by XPath, and again I'm repeating, it is not preferable to use XPath because due to some this you can say type of messy thing you are getting. So it is preferable first to try with the simple locators. If there is no option, then opt for XPath only, and then you can locate element and do the rest necessary operation as you want. Okay, let me close this whole session. So these are locators. With the help of these locators, we can locate elements on our web page and do necessary operations over it. Okay, so does anyone has any doubt up to this point in any locator? Hello.
So, can you repeat once again what is the use of XPath? I mean, in the last case, we were using Facebook page. Okay, so there was a login button. So, can we use XPath in this case also if all the values are dynamic?
You can use in any case. Okay, you can use XPath in any case. There is actually there are some front-end technologies, dynamic front-end technologies. In that case, maybe there is variation in using two in case of XPath, but in most of the cases, XPath will work because it is like your path of a DOM elements from HTML to your div tag or your UL tag, your li tag. Uh, Whatever the coding process on that page is happening. So in that case, XPath in most of the cases will work, even in case of dynamic things. But if there is still some exception on that, on that particular scenario, we need to check accordingly how we will locate that element.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it's fine with everyone. In this session, we are keeping it up to this point, up to locators. As per my understanding, if you all have attended all three sessions, so you can able to installation, do configuration, and start with your Selenium programs. And afterward, we will do some operations that how to do scroll over the pages, how to get the screenshots of the pages, how to manage drop down, how to manage alerts, and afterward we will study about TestNG. Is a framework in a Selenium. Afterward, we will do some advanced Selenium techniques, behavior driven, data driven. Uh, and with all these approaches, we will be going to complete our course. And after this, you will be a full fledged automation, you can say developer or tester, and able to write scripts. So up to this point, if anyone has any doubt, he or she can ask. Rest, we will upload this sample programs over the GitHub, and we'll share the link so that you all can practice. And in case of any doubt, you all can reach us via email, via WhatsApp group, via Telegram group, or via our channels. All videos will be uploaded on our YouTube channels for your support. Okay. So I think it's fine for today.
So, everyone, any question? Ritesh, Rajiv, any question?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, my question is, can we only use the Selenium only for web application testing purpose, or can we use it for making a test application in a mobile phone, right? Like that.
Yeah, Ritesh, for mobile, you need to use APM. So
APM.
the concept and functionality, the root concept will be the same as Selenium in case of APM. So APM is mainly for mobile application testing for over Android framework. In that case, you will use UI inspector. In case of this, your browser inspector, and you can locate elements in the mobile application, and you can locate. So for that, you need to do Selenium for mobile application testing. Oh, sorry, APM for mobile application testing.
APM, yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay.
So, in case if you have learned Selenium, then learning APM will not be a big task. So you can easily switch on that. So any tool is good to start. So fine, guys. Any other question? Right. So Harsh, can we wrap up the session?
Yes, so we can wrap up for today.
Okay. So fine, guys. Before we wrap up, let me tell you that the program which we are running, it's a free automation training program. The reason is we want more and more people to aware about the automation from starting. But the need of the hour is automation. Even in manual, if you see that most of the companies are asking API, XPath, CSS, and all the basic things. So automation is too much required nowadays. Please try do more and more practice, learn automation, and then it will be very easy for you to switch your job or you start some career somewhere, right? Uh, we at 4C gives you a lot of training. This was a limited time period session of 3 days, so we could have not be able to present you lot many things. In the enroll session, we have too many things to tell you. We take too much time. We start from basic. We let you do lot of practice, lot of scenarios. You understand the concepts in a well manner, and we also give the placement services. So it's not like that we give you training and that's all. We help you with the placement. Even though if you are already placed, we help you to switch the jobs. We have too many clients who are looking for good talent out there, and we can recommend only those who actually can work. So try out some courses. You can visit to our website, uh, check the brochures we have, the content, and then try out. It will really helpful, right? And please, we will also share one feedback form so that how was the site, pros and cons, so that in the next session we'll improve that, and we will be doing these kind of session in future also, to help more and more people out there, right? Please follow the channel so that you get more and more data, updated data in the future. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope the session was helpful. Right?
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Bye bye.